That's right. Here we are again. It's time for Star Trek. No, I'm kidding. It's
But it
Star
was
Trek
Starship
week.
Troopers.
I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding. It's May the 4th be with you.
I was gonna do literally the Star Trek thing. Like,
Live long and prosper.
sorry to all Star Wars fans.
Exactly,
I'm so
exactly. No, we are here. We're taking this seriously, and since when, we ask?
I think I'm the only Star Wars fan here.
Well, that's the point.
And I'm here to defend these beautiful movies from haters, critics, and ignorant people.
That's the point. So welcome, first of all, to our podcast. Welcome to Elevator Pitch. I am Hazel. With me today, as usual, are my co-hosts.
Altair.
And
Andres.
our Star Wars expert for today. And if you don't know the premise of our show, we basically we introduce films to one another that the others might not have seen, and then we talk about it. And in this instance, surprise, surprise, the girls haven't seen Star Wars.
What?
No, this is genuinely I'm 26 and I'd never seen Star Wars before, so I saw this as an opportunity to finally get in on the hype.
It's too late, Hazel. It's too late for you.
It's too late, even though from what I understand Disney has already ruined the franchise, so I don't know why I'm doing this now. I'm too late to the party, really.
Yeah. But, I mean, at least you guys watched the movie.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
did. Yeah.
I mean, you just try to. I mean, look at it as at least you are getting a little bit of film history.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I was this morning preparing. I was reading up on the production process.
It was hell.
Yeah. So apparently there were like loads of different script drafts, and he went to like loads of different studios, and no one wanted to produce it. It went over budget. Yeah.
Over schedule.
Yeah, over schedule, over budget. Yeah.
Everything malfunctioned, like the animatronics, like the sets and whatever, and nothing worked.
Yeah.
And the weather was terrible during the shootings. They shot in the desert, like, oh my god, it was horrible. The first movie was like, I don't know how they did it.
Yeah. So, but then this came out, and it was like the biggest hit ever, and
It's a cultural phenomenon.
Exactly.
It's hard to say how, like, this couldn't really have as much of an impact on me today because it's so big and such a big cultural phenomenon, and I think, and because it's inspired so much since then, that you feel like it's like Halloween, you know, like Halloween was like the first slasher, and then that produced everything else behind it after it, so you can't really tell the difference between the original thing and everything else that came after it. So I can't say that it had like that it wowed me in terms of that, but I was impressed by the effects and the story. It wasn't very inventive, so
Okay, Hazel, get up.
you offended me.
Yeah.
You have said enough. No.
Yeah, no, I think you're right in the fact that it's such a big thing that I don't think anyone feels. I mean, I don't think anyone can say, Star Wars is a bad film. No. I don't think that's something that you can actually say. You can say, I don't like it, or it's not my thing.
Because you would get trolled to death on the internet.
Exactly, but I don't think you can say, yeah, this movie is crap, because obviously it's not. I mean, it has like moved across decades and decades of this marvelous thing. So yeah, it has attained that power, that status, I guess, of, yeah, you cannot say that this is bad because it's not.
No.
Yeah. It's like
some people say it's boring. Like people that find it too slow. There's not enough action. Sure. But you cannot say it's like a bad cinema. Like the movie is well made, it's well directed, and there's a reason why it has remained a classic for so long. Like and it's actually been preserved in like the National Library of Film, whatever. Because it's like a reference for everyone who's doing like fantasy and
Yeah,
Space ship.
like for example, what's the name of this film? Birth of a Nation,
Oh god.
Oh,
which is
that's the movie we're gonna talk about next week.
next week exactly. So stay tuned. No, I mean in the sense that you can say all of the things that are wrong with this film, but you cannot deny
Its impact.
its impact
And how
and its
influential it
influence
was.
in cinema. So I think with a lot less racism.
We can at least watch it a lot more with a lot more enjoyment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have that going for you, Star Wars. Star Wars
being
1,
racist.
Birth of a Nation 0.
Yeah, there's so many similarities.
That's exactly. Star Wars 1. Birth of a Nation 0. Just for pure entertainment value.
But I think Star Wars had a bigger impact than Birth.
No, I mean it depends because like Birth of a Nation, it's basically the in a way the birth of
It created a lot of modern camera technique.
exactly and the cinema language that we use today. So if it wasn't for that film, Star Wars wouldn't have been a thing, you
I
know.
get the feeling that you don't want to talk about Star Wars.
You want to
That's okay.
Let's go back to the topic, guys.
Let's talk about this movie that glorifies the KKK. Maybe we can keep drawing parallels. You know, stormtroopers are dressed in white. The KKK
There you go.
are dressed in white.
There you go.
I mean, it's World War II in space,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. No, but let's go back to Star Wars.
Yeah. Don't watch
So,
Birth of
Birth
a
of
Nation.
Nation. Okay, so shall I start with my summary of the movie?
Yes, if you can, yeah.
Well, today we're going to talk about Star Wars, I guess now known as Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, which is about the following. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a lonely farm boy joins a creepy old space wizard and two gay robots in an epic quest to save the galaxy from the evil galactic empire. In his quest, he will be indoctrinated into a cult, as well as joining a terrorist organization. In the end, he blows up a gigantic disco ball and becomes a hero.
Very good. That's very much.
I just had the light bulb moment. Yeah, you're right. The robots are gay, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
didn't really think about
of
that.
gay characters in Star Wars. You would notice. No, nobody's explicitly, but I don't know. We'll get to that as we go through the movies. And yeah, what's so great about this movie? Everything. Like everything. No, but I think the story is simple, epic, and full of great characters. Like, yeah, I think Star Wars, nobody would say like the plot is very deep or anything. It's just simple hero's journey story in space. But I think what makes it so great is the characters and the chemistry between the characters, and like just how they grow and they become friends and they save the galaxy. And there's so many like iconic and well-written moments and just, I don't know, great costumes and actors. Also great sound design and editing. I think like the movie's full of like creative sounds. Like so many of them have become like iconic, like the lasers, the weird like alien talking, like I don't know. And also the editing is really cool. Like I think this was one of the first movies where I actually thought about like how it was edited before, because there's a big discussion about the movie's editing because there were like different versions and they really put a shit ton of effort into it. I think the music is great, composed by John Williams. I think there's nobody who can deny that. And the special effects are really cool, practical, old 80s, 70s. I think this movie's from the 70s. Yeah. Spaceship effects and green screen, a lot of like really modern, I mean for the time, innovative effects. And I also wrote it has laser robots and spaceships that go boom, and that's awesome because every movie should have more of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. I would agree with all
How
that.
are you gonna? Because I know you're gonna start fighting me.
No.
Just let's start.
No.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
I think like as you take us on this journey through the galaxy,
We'll
we
have
will-
thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pilot away.
Well, so the movie starts with a title crawl, which is something that in most movies would be really boring, but I think in Star Wars it works great. It's like really epic, and the music is awesome. I think the music is what makes it watchable. If you didn't have this epic, bombastic score, it would just be text. But basically explains the plot, like the setting of the story, which is like a galactic war in which the rebels are fighting the Empire, and basically the Empire is getting more and more powerful, like dominating different star systems, and the only thing that can stop them are the plans to stop their latest weapon of war, which is the Death Star. Whose plans? No, because that's when I'm talking about a person. Whose plans? Talking about the Death Star?
Yeah.
Oh.
About the Death Star.
All right.
Well, the Death Star doesn't have plans of its own, does it? The people who own the Death Star have plans.
Well, how do you say the plans from the Death Star?
The plans for the Death Star?
This doesn't come into an English podcast. It started with the birth of a nation, and then
I think in Spanish they would be easier. Let's switch to Spanish.
Well, the Empire plans to use the Death Star. They have plans for the
Have
Death
been stolen
Star.
by the rebels and are being transported
Oh, okay.
on a ship.
Right. Well, then it would just be its plans.
Its plans? Oh yeah.
Its plans have been stolen.
It didn't make
The
sense
plans
in the
of the
sense I
Death
was-
Star.
I think in the sense that how I was gonna say it, it only makes sense in Spanish.
what were you gonna say in Spanish?
Cuyos planes han sido
Yeah.
robados por...
Yeah. The thing is that Hazel doesn't. I mean, let's not talk about grammar. Let's just continue with the plot.
Getting way too bogged down in this. Okay. So they have the Empire plan to use the Death Star.
Yeah, the rebels have stolen the plans, and they are escaping the Empire's pursuit, and that's their only hope. And the thing is, the movie then from the title crawl goes into like space, and we see this little spaceship being chased by a gigantic star destroyer. I think it's a really cool shot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's like a giant pizza going. And then it's like, have you seen the Spaceballs parody?
Yeah.
It is like infinite. Like the
It
scene
just
never,
goes on
never
and on and on
stops.
and on.
But yeah, that's like a really good opening. And then we go into the ship and we see all of these rebel soldiers like scrambling around and being basically ready to getting attacked because the spaceship has been captured. And we also meet these two droids who I think is really interesting that the movie starts with these characters, and then from their perspective you kind of see this initial scene. I think in a more traditional movie you would have immediately started with the main character, like Luke in the farm, just like the later
Leia.
scene, or Princess Leia. But I think it's interesting that you just the characters who introduce you to this world are these two droids.
I think that was the first thing that maybe I would say irritated me, like for the first bit of the film, because I know that Luke is the main character, and then I was spending I think about half an hour just with these, I'll be honest, somewhat annoying robots bickering all the time, and I was like, when are we getting to the where is this going?
You're too young, Hazel. You have no attention.
I like slower movies or movies with less plot, but I guess that was my like you say, if you go in with that expectation and then that expectation is subverted by this beginning, really.
A lot of people find these characters annoying. I never personally found them annoying for some reason. But yeah, I guess a more traditional movie would have just started with Luke or Leia, but I don't know. To me, it's like
if I went in a second time to watch this film knowing that now, I guess I would be, less irritated. But I'm not saying that it was like I say, it's subverting your expectations. So I think
just to me, it's like you start thinking, where is this going? Like, who are these characters? Like, and then you learn this because these characters are like unaware. At least C-3PO is unaware of everything that's happening, and then it kind of you put yourself in his position. Like you also don't know what's happening, and you're like looking around and what the hell? Who are these characters? And it's a good way of introducing the world, because when you put a character that already knows everything, you cannot really relate to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the original movie actually didn't start like this. It did start with Luke in his farm. It kept cutting back to the spaceship. Then they decided to do it like this. Well, basically, then the ship gets captured, and the stormtroopers storm the ship, start shooting, killing everyone, and we see then the greatest bad guy in cinema, Darth Vader, entering with his iconic breathing sounds.
And his dun 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 dun.
Exactly, his
Dun,
Imperial
dun,
March.
dun, dun.
And it's cool, James Earl Jones' voice.
Mm.
And he's angry because he's looking for the princess. But she cannot be found. She's somewhere hidden in the ship.
So just for clarification, but like he's not in charge of the Empire. He just works for the Empire.
He's actually not like that powerful character in the sense of in the political sense. Like he's basically like a thug. And there's some dialogues that explain that he's basically like the last of the Sith. I think the Sith are not mentioned in the original trilogy, but he's like the last one of this dying religion, basically. And he has some powers and stuff. But really, in the first movies, he's not like the main bad guy. He's just like some, and in the first movie at least, like some muscle, which is kind of strange. Because you would imagine he would be like the top commander of the Empire, but no, he's just like he's even getting like disrespected by other officers and stuff. But yeah, he crushes some guy's neck, and he captures Princess Leia, who is just before getting kidnapped. She manages to put the plans to the Death Star inside the shuttle with the two droids, and sends them onto the planet they're next to, which is I think Tatooine, and then she gets captured. Like all princesses do. And yeah, that's the introductory scene. And he sends the stormtroopers to the planet to search for them, for the two droids. And also we see a bit of the relationship between C-3PO and R2-D2, which they don't get along at first. It's like a married couple. I think it's funny because you never hear what R2-D2 is saying, but you can imagine a lot of things he's saying, because sometimes like the other, like C-3PO gets angry or something, and you can assume that he was like insulting him or something. But it's this dynamic where R2-D2 is like, he knows what he's doing, he has a mission, and C-3PO is just like tagging along, completely unaware of the...
So R2-D2 is the little one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on. You knew that already, right? I think it's the most iconic cinema robot ever. Okay. And then we go to the planet where the droids land, and they are... we also have a moment where Darth Vader talks to Princess Leia. It's also interesting to see that the princess in this movie is not really the typical princess character. She's much more like a commander. Like she has a authority, and it's interesting because it's like the Princess Leia.
She's a woman.
No, because the character of the princess in the fantasy is usually being useless completely. Mm-hmm. And I think the casting in this was good, because the actress, she has a very like a personality that is different from most, I think, actresses you would cast as princesses.
Yeah. I mean, I think the character, I'm guessing the character, when they wrote it, had to have this more of a strong... It's not just like the princess in distress. It's more active, so...
But it's believable. She has this presence. It's not like a fake. Like...
No, definitely.
Well, she's part of the resistance, so you have to have a certain strong personality, don't you?
Yeah.
But I don't think any actress would have been able to pull it off.
Definitely.
She has like a strong looking face or something.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, probably, like, of course they picked her because she embodied the essence of the character.
Mm-hmm. She did a shit ton of cocaine also.
Yeah, she had like a very troubled life. Partly because George Lucas kind of screwed her over, but we can talk about that in another.
Yeah, a lot of drama in this movie also.
Behind the scenes.
But then the droids are in the middle of the desert, lost, again, bickering. R2-D2 wants to go this way, C-3PO wants to go the other way, and they split because they don't really get along. And what happens is that they both get captured, by these little creatures called Jawas, who are basically like desert junk dealers or something. And they're very cool. I think I always remember that the voices are so strange. I don't know how they did them, but they make these weird sounds. And like, I think they're children dressed up in like these robes. And,
Yeah, probably.
and then they are transported to Luke's farm. That's when we meet Luke Skywalker, our protagonist, and he's living the most boring life ever in this really, really lonely like planet, desert planet, with his uncle and aunt. It's like a moisture farm.
I was gonna ask, what does that?
I don't know. Maybe they produce like lube or something. No.
Well, I guess if you're in the desert, did they? I don't know. They farm water.
Yeah, I'm guessing it has to be something with that.
Liquidy.
Moisture. I don't know. It's just something they invented. It sounds weird. And yeah, you can see he hates being there. He's like, I want to go to space. I want to have adventures. He's like a Disney princess in some ways. Like, he wants more.
He wants more out of
If
life.
he was a musical, he would have a song where he would be like, I want to go to space or something. But his uncle doesn't approve. So the Jawas come to the farm and are trying to sell them these droids. And they end up buying C-3PO because he can speak what's in that? I forgot. Some alien language. And yeah, then we see that C-3PO is actually not that bad of a guy because he does eventually help R2-D2 also get bought. And it's kind of weird, this whole thing with the droids being like bought and treated as like equipment, even though they clearly have like souls. Like they are like people.
Like a conscience.
Yeah, exactly.
Like self-awareness.
Yeah, they're just people. They're completely intelligent, and nobody talks to them. Like nobody, like Luke's uncle is like, shut up, like just come over here. Like, and Han Solo, later we'll talk about this character. He also like almost never acknowledges them. He just gets annoyed or like tells them to shut up, and yeah, they're being like discriminated against. I guess this is like kind of like Birth of a Nation in some.
There you go.
That's a discrimination.
And yeah, so Luke buys the droids and he's telling them about his shitty, boring life. And he's like, the droids tell him that they were on a spaceship. So he's like, oh, space. Oh, you were in battles. Oh, that's so cool. So we learn that his dream is to become like a space pilot. He wants to go to space and fight in space battles and become a hero. And this is when he discovers a message inside the droid, like part of a message when he's cleaning it, which shows Princess Leia asking Obi-Wan Kenobi, somebody called Obi-Wan, to take these plants and take them to the rebel base, if I'm not mistaken. But he cannot see the entirety of the message, and then the droid just shuts off.
This is where it gets a little bit creepy, though, isn't it? Because then, like, Luke's like, "Oh, she's beautiful." Like,
Why is that creepy? The guy has.
because we know how it ends.
Oh, but this wasn't in the original script.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with the sister was, a problem with the script because in the original there was going to be another sister character, which wasn't going to be Princess Leia. But then I think they, instead of making a new trilogy of movies, which was the plan, they just finished it with Return of the Jedi, and they had to like mix these two characters together. Yeah, in hindsight, it's really creepy, but it's not Luke's fault. I mean, come on. And he.
I'm not blaming Luke, but you know.
Yeah. But it's this. I'm just imagining you see this movie without knowing anything. She's just a princess.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second movie is like, oh my god, what the fuck? Yeah. So he is in love with his sister basically, without knowing. But yeah, he immediately is like, oh my god, she's so hot. Even though it's like a really pixelated hologram, you barely see her face. Like, show me more of that message. Like, come on. And the droid is like, no. Like, I can't. I'm malfunctioning or something. So then Luke kind of forgets about it, goes to his boring life. The next day, he has a talk with his uncle, I think, where his uncle is like, no, Luke, I need you here. I need you You cannot be a space pilot, basically.
I mean, he Luke does say to his uncle, like, "Hey, I thought that next summer I can go." He wants to leave, and then the uncle says, like, "No, you have to. No, what if you stay for one more summer, you know?
Yeah.
And then after that you can go, but we need you." And
But then you know that there's something off because it's like, why is his uncle so against him leaving? Like it's not only that he needs him in the farm because they as Luke says they have enough droids and stuff, and then you learn from a small dialogue that basically Aunt Beru says like he's like he's too much like his father or something. Then he's like, oh yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Like he doesn't want his Luke to die basically, like his father did. I don't think in this movie I don't think they were planning on Darth Vader being his father. I think this is something that...
But it actually works quite well. Like when he said that, I was like, oh, because Darth Vader is his father.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure. Maybe George Lucas had that planned, but I don't think so. I think in the first movie, his father was just some guy who was killed. Yeah. And
because I was wondering, going over what Obi tells him later on about who his father was and who that he fought against, or he was part of the Jedis.
Yeah, his father was
but then this other guy betrayed them. But then that's the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
that's something that will also be explained in the last movie. They come up with a really bullshit explanation. Yeah, it's really stupid. Okay. It's not really a retcon. It's like a vague thing that some character says like.
Okay.
See, then the next day they find that R2D2 has been is gone. He's like disappeared, and Luke is like, my uncle's gonna kill me. No, we need to go get him. So he and C-3PO they go in this speeder thing across the desert.
That's quite a cool effect.
Yeah, but I think in the original version it looked like shit. Like, this is one of the things that I'm kind of glad they retouched it a little bit in the. Okay. I think they were literally using like a cloth thing that was the color of the sand to kind of mask the part where the wheels were or something. Okay. It didn't really look very good. But yeah, they're like spinning across the desert, and then they find tracks, I think, from the sand people. You can also see here that Luke is like he wants adventure because he wants to go look at them. He's like, let's go check them out. And so Luke and C-3PO find R2D2 walking alone through the desert, and they are like confused, like, what are you doing here? Like, where are you going? And he doesn't say. He's like, he keeps talking about his mission. He has a mission, and that's when they get attacked by these sand people, which basically overpower Luke and are about to probably murder him or worse. And then he gets rescued by some weird old man who then makes this strange sound, this like howling, which was also retouched in the special edition. Like this, I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with George Lucas. The original sound was fine. And he's like, woo, or something like that. And then the sand people are super scared of him. Probably he's using the Force. Exactly. It's always the Force. It explains everything. And then he's like, hello there. Like, I'm Obi-Wan. And he rescues Luke. And then when he meets her, he's like, I'm looking for... Do you know about somebody called Obi-Wan Kenobi? He's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
So they go back to Obi-Wan's.
Yeah, they go to his place. He's an old man living alone. He invites a young man to his place with the promise of adventure.
So many young men.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, he does save him, but I don't know. He's kind of creepy, you know.
But they go back and then they get the full message out of R2D2.
And basically, is this princess who wants Obi-Wan Kenobi to take the plans to the rebels and then help them destroy the...
Because they're hoping they'll find like some sort of weakness in the Death Star that they can use to destroy it.
Which weakness is kind of funny, actually. He has like one weakness that destroys everything like immediately. But yeah. And Obi-Wan is like, I'm too old. Well, he does explain to Luke a lot about who he is. Like, he tells him... Because Luke is like, no, my father was some merchant, boring guy or something. And Obi-Wan is like, what? No, like he was a Jedi. Oh, wow. Or does he say his father was a Jedi? I don't even remember now. Or was he like a space pilot?
Well, he explains to him anyway. He's talked to him about the Jedis and the Force and that he can use it. And he seems to... I think, does he sense that Luke has the Force or he could use the Force?
And I think, he knows that.
Yeah. So then he invites Luke on this adventure of a lifetime to save Princess Leia.
What's the name of the hero's journey? This would be like the inciting incident. He's like, I can't do it alone. I'm too old.
That's the
And then Luke is like, no, I'm my uncle. No, I need to go back to the farm. Then he's like, oh, like, what you need to do, what you think is right. But still Luke refuses. He's like, no, like, I can't. I have work to do. My uncle doesn't let me. He's like getting second thoughts.
What I love is like, because like it's like, oh yeah, I can't because I have my uncle and aunt here, and then they go back to Luke's place, and then it looks like the stormtroopers.
I'm gonna talk about this now because it's basically I cannot help you, but I can maybe get to some place. I can help you. I can give you a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he takes Obi-Wan with him, but they find that the Jawas, who we saw previously, have been all like massacred.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Obi-Wan is like, oh, this wasn't done by the Sun people. The laser shots are too precise. Like this can only have been done by stormtroopers, which I don't know. If you see them, the stormtroopers shooting, they're not very precise. So
are we gonna talk about the stormtroopers?
The stormtroopers are like the worst, like the worst kind of.
They're supposed to be like the best
ever.
Like it's supposed to be the best army in the galaxy. They represent the Empire, and they do nothing but idiotic things.
Yeah. There's even a scene where one bumps his head against a door.
Yeah. But it's like so ridiculous sometimes because it's like, hey, who are you? I'm no one. Okay, and then they just
leave, and they just take their word for it.
It's the Force. Well, yeah, but what I'm going to explain now is that to me it seems like it's very suspicious that Obi-Wan, that these guys were killed, because later we find out as Luke rushes home to see if his uncles are okay. He finds them like just burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, they've been killed.
And he's like, oh my god, like I have nothing else. Like,
well, problem solved. No more.
Yeah,
things are standing in my way.
To me, it seems like Obi-Wan just had to do something to motivate Luke a little bit more, so he just pay a visit to his uncle.
Go back to your home. I'm sure nothing will have happened there.
He's like, there is nothing he could have done.
You think he was behind it? You think he had some influence?
Yeah, that's why he lied about the stormtroopers. He killed all those sand people. Like, he killed the Jawas, and he killed Luke's family. He needed Luke.
Luke.
Yeah. It's very convenient.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Like, there you go.
So then Luke
has nothing to stay for anymore.
He literally says, I have nothing here anymore. Like, I want to learn the Force. He's like, don't worry, Luke. I'll train you. It's good. This is perfect. Very convenient.
Exactly.
And so they're
still on the same planet, and then they go to, is it Mos Eisley?
Yeah, they need to go to a spaceport in order to leave the planet. Yeah. They go to Mos Eisley, the biggest, like, how does it say, like, you will never find a place more filled with like villainy and wickedness in the whole galaxy or something. So yeah, they enter the spaceport, which is again filled with like this unnecessary CG.
Yeah, this is the bit that's aged the worst with the new CG added. I thought, George.
So distracting.
It's so distracting.
You see like a normal shot of like a building, and then next to it is like some weird dinosaur thing, which is like
that just is not there.
Doesn't have the same film quality.
Exactly.
As
it doesn't have the right texture. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah, they enter the city and immediately get like found by stormtroopers.
Like, who are you? This is the bit. This is where like someone hides behind a door, and then the stormtroopers are like trying to get in, and they're like,
they just give up.
We can't. Yeah, exactly. They're like, we can't get in. Oh well, I'm sure no one's hiding behind here.
But I mean, the door's closed. How are they supposed to open it? It's closed.
They could shoot it. They could shoot through it. like, you didn't try very hard, did you?
This is futuristic doors. They're not open like this. Also, like, they don't get paid enough to do this shit. Like,
I mean, I do. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, then we see the first time I think we see where somebody uses the force, aside from the weird howling thing. Because they're like, basically they're gonna arrest them immediately, and they have like the plans, they have the droid, they have like all the evidence with them, and they're like, okay, they're fucked. But then Obi-Wan is like, these are not the droids you're looking for. Then they're like, these are not the droids we're looking for. Like they get like mind
hypnotized
or
kind of thing,
something by Obi-Wan's creepy magic. They let them go.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
And so they enter the cantina, which is, I think, one of the most iconic scenes in the movie. There's all of these weird alien monsters, creepy looking creatures, and it's really cool. It looks like a Berghain or something. And
are you speaking from your own experience?
Yeah, I've been there. There's aliens in there. No. And so they're looking for a pilot, somebody who can take them from Mos Eisley to Alderaan, which is the planet where the rebel base is, I think.
Yeah.
No,
that's
the
one
whole
that
planet
gets
from Princess Leia.
I was going to say that's the one that gets. Yeah.
But why are they going there? Wait, now I got confused.
What? No, because she says in her message, "Take this to my father."
All right. Oh, well, you know a lot about Star Wars. Right.
See, now, come on, man. Like, I've seen this movie once.
I actually never watched this movie.
You've just been fooling us this whole time. Yeah, so they want to take this to a father.
They need somebody who's crazy enough to take them on this mission. And Luke immediately finds trouble with some weird guy who hates him for no reason. He's like, I don't like, he doesn't like you. I don't like you either. And then he just tries to kill him for no reason. And then we see another of Obi-Wan's cool moments where he just takes out his lightsaber and cuts the guy's arm off, like a samurai movie. And yeah, just fucking cuts the guy's arm off and nobody says anything. And so we meet our third most important character in the movie, which is Han Solo, the pilot of the Millennium Falcon, who offers them a ride to Alderaan for they make a deal.
A considerable fee, yeah. They say we're gonna pay you.
But you also see that he's kind of also desperate.
Yeah.
He talks about like debt. He owns this Java character a lot of money, and he has a price on his head. So basically, they're both desperate to get out of there.
Yeah.
And this is another very, very important scene happens where as they're leaving, Han gets stopped by this character called Greedo, which is this green guy who wants to kill him. He's like, you have a price on your head. I will kill you. And then they have this talk where at the end, this is what I was going to say, this who shot first moment happens here, where in the special editions, they make this really weird edit where it seems like Greedo shoots Han first for like a split second, and then Han shoots him back. But in the original movie, Greedo never shoots Han. Like Han is distracting him, and then he shoots him from under the table and kills him. But I think George Lucas thought that was like too cold-blooded. Like the character was too mean.
I see.
So he made that really strange edit where he gets shot first and he fires back in retaliation, basically, which is completely stupid. Like it's just incredibly dumb and it just looks awful. You're like, what the fuck? I remember when I saw that as a kid, I immediately I thought, what happened? Like, did he see like a Matrix guy? Can he like dodge lasers? Because they even added like a head movement where he moves his head to the side to kind of dodge the laser shot. It's just baffling. And the original movie is so much cooler because he just shoots him and he tells you about this character who basically doesn't give a shit. He doesn't play fair. He's smart and he kills the other guy for being stupid. And then there's another added scene where he goes talk to Java, and they added the character later in the special editions, because this is footage where he originally talked with an actor, like a stand-in actor, and I think they were gonna replace him with some claymation monster or something, but they didn't put it in the movie. And in the special editions, they added this 3D Java, which looks like shit, and basically talks to Han about his debt, and if he doesn't give him the money, he will kill him.
Yeah.
And so, basically, what happens next is that
So they're all getting ready to get on the spaceship.
getting ready to leave, but they are found because some spy, some creepy ass looking moth, fly monster spy, tells the Empire like they're there, and so as they are about to, we meet of course the Millennium Falcon, the most
Yep.
important spaceship in fiction,
And Chewbacca.
and immediately Chewbacca also great character. He's not really a character; it's more like an animal.
Okay.
No. But as you go through the movie, you realize that it is actually a pretty cool ship. Like it has a lot of features, and I don't know, it has this like self-made quality, and I don't know, it's really. I wish I had as a kid like a toy of the Millennium Falcon, but I never had.
Aww. So they basically have to escape suddenly because the stormtroopers have
Then
found
the
them.
stormtroopers just start shooting at them and
Exactly.
missing every shot, of course, because they're useless.
Yeah.
And then they escape to the atmosphere, but are chased by a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And then this is where Han says, like, we have to jump to light speed.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, we've seen some scenes on the Death Star. So there's like a meeting that Darth Vader has with like all these different generals, I think, where he like shows off like someone mocks the Force.
Yeah, basically they're talking about this politics shit. The Senate has been dissolved or whatever. And Darth Vader keeps saying that the most important thing now is the Death Star. Like, this is the most powerful thing ever. And they don't listen to him. He's like, you're just some fanatic about this stupid religion. And then he shows him like a bit of what the Force can do by choking him with his mind. And
then they get Princess Leia. Yeah. They interrogate her and tell her that we're gonna blow up your planet if you don't tell us where the rebel base is.
which is sad because she ends up telling them, kind of, but not really. She lies. And then they blow up the planet anyways. Just shoot him with a laser and explodes in front of her face. And she's like, just destroyed. And I bet she was really glad she didn't give them the real location.
So then when Luke and Han and everyone arrive, they're like, oh, these are the right coordinates, but the planet's gone.
Oh, yeah, but before that, there's also this moment where Obi-Wan is like, like having this feeling.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? What's happening? I feel there's disturbance in the Force. Like, 1 billion people were killed. Their voices were silenced. And then Han is like he doesn't believe in the Force. He just thinks it's some trick. We also see some training scenes where Luke is learning to use the lightsaber, and he blocks some lasers from this training thing. And there's a lot of like talking back and forth about like basically Han thinks this is bullshit. Like the Force is nothing. It's just like a fake religion, and Luke is like completely opposite. He wants to learn. He's like, I think I felt something. Force is so cool, and that's when they arrive at the planet, but there is no planet. It's all been blown up, and I think this is where the movie gets really good for me.
So this is where they get pulled in by the Death Star, I think, isn't it?
They start following the spaceship that was sent to survey the planet, to search for the rebel base or something. And as it's coming back to this moon, so everyone says there is no moon. It's a space station. Like, what? That's impossible. No station can be this big. You're crazy, old man. And of course, they get trapped in the tractor beam. And then, they're being pulled into this gigantic ball in space. It's really, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, how did they even make this thing?
I was wondering, like, you have to wonder about the logistics of building a thing like that.
Where did you get the
That's basically
material?
as big as a star.
You need to go to different planets to build it. You need to basically make planets, use planets to build
build it in space. Yeah.
And how do you supply it with like food and water and things and the electricity? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I guess you're not supposed to think too hard about that stuff.
No, of course not. And I always think this scene is like, when I saw it as a kid, I was like, how are they going to survive this? It's impossible. You see like the tiny spaceship entering this like giant fortress full of like thousands of soldiers and weapons, and then Obi-Wan says like, but there are alternatives to fighting. And that's when, they come up with this plan of basically hiding under these smuggling compartments as the ship is being searched, which I always thought was really cool, really smart as a kid. But now that I see this, like, I don't know, that would work in real life. Because they give up immediately. They search the ship, like,
That's what
there
I
was
mean.
no one on the ship.
The stormtroopers, again, they're sort of like, oh, there's nothing here, so I guess it's fine.
Don't they have like scanners? Like,
you would think they would.
no, they just look like, oh.
They're like scan for life signs or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they don't.
No,
So
they don't. There's
they're
no one on the
fine,
ship.
And they managed to get off. So now they have to disable the this tractor beam, right?
Yeah. Obi-Wan, they disguise themselves as stormtroopers. They manage to escape the ship by being smart. Basically, like, one of the guys enters. And he's like, hey, can you help us over here? They take off his clothes. Then they come out. That's it. Genius.
This is a bit, to be fair, where I kind of, it was another long bit where I kind of forgot what the objective was. Because it goes on for so long, like this bit inside the Death Star, that I kind of forgot what we were here for.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's always rescuing the princess. I mean, for Luke at least he cares about he just wants to bang. He just saw the princess in the recording and he wants to get laid. And in order to do
There's
that,
very little going on that desert planet, so...
And he might as well just save the galaxy in the process.
Exactly.
And Han Solo just wants his money to stop being killed.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan, he wants to save the world because he's a hero. And
So now they disguise themselves as stormtroopers, and then they find like the security thing. Like
they
they
go to
hide
this
out
room.
in a
They go to this room where Han Solo is like, no, wait, I'm gonna get out of here. Fuck this shit. And Luke is like, oh, but you know, the princess is a lot of money. She can pay you billions of credits. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, lead on. Like, what's your plan? And Luke is like, he comes up with a really stupid plan that makes no sense. Basically, Chewbacca. We haven't talked about Chewbacca, but I don't know. Did you find this character annoying? Because I find this so cool.
No.
A lot of people find this growling annoying.
No, not as annoying as the robots. I thought the robots were more annoying.
Even R2D2, you find annoying? Such a cool robot.
I guess it's just
The dynamic.
I would say more. Is it 3PO?
Yeah,
C-
3PO or
C3PO,
C3PO.
Yeah, I find it maybe because I can understand what he's saying. He's not just
No.
beeping.
Yeah, he's a little bit annoying. He gets even, I think, more annoying in the
He
second
just
movie.
moans all the time.
Yeah, he always
Whereas like
complaining.
Chewbacca just gets
Yeah.
the job done, I guess.
Yeah, he's like a man of few words.
Exactly,
He just-
exactly.
Does what he's told and
Yeah,
doesn't bother people.
yeah.
But
So Obi-Wan's gone off to disable the tractor.
Obi-Wan is
beam.
like, I will go alone. And just Han is like, you're crazy, old man. You're going to get killed. He basically, in this scene, I feel like Han is being like, he doesn't like this old man because he's braver than he is. Like, he's like annoyed by this guy's selflessness because he feels like he's not like him. He's like, he feels like he's being criticized by Obi-Wan the whole time. And then he's like, I must go alone to disable the tractor ship. You guys care about the princess. And they come up with this plan where they take Chewbacca to the prison cell, disguised as stormtroopers. And it's just so funny because immediately goes wrong. Like the guy's like, whoa, where are you taking that thing?
We need to
So-
verify these orders.
It's like, I wasn't notified of this. Who are you? And then they start
fighter suit,
blasting and shooting and lasers here, lasers there. Chewbacca goes ape shit, punches some guy in the face, and basically they manage to clear the room. But then another really stupid thing happens when Han Solo tries to like talk to this communicator thing. He's like, no, we're fine here. Everything's fine. There was a malfunction with the gun or something. And the guy's like, who are you? Like, what's your identification number?
He's like, fuck this.
She just shoots the microphone. And he's like, look, we got company. And then they have to quickly find the princess. I think this is when the movie gets going. Like, this is the action part. And then Luke finds the princess. And she immediately says, like, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? You would imagine she would be like, oh, my hero. But now she's like, she immediately goes like, okay, guys, let's go. We need to go. Who are you people? And he explains to them, to her, there with Obi-Wan Kenobi. She's like, oh, okay, you're with him. That means you're good. and then they join together and they escape through the garbage chute
Yeah.
as the soldiers are
Yeah.
shooting at them, and
But then they run into trouble in the garbage
Yeah.
chute.
then of course like any garbage compactor does.
Has like a gross monster in the bottom.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is weird shit.
Ugh.
I found that monster so gross when I was
Oh
a kid.
god.
Um,
That bit is kind of like terrifying. The fact that there's something just like around them that's pulling them down by their feet.
yeah, and what is that shit? They never
Ugh,
explain it. It's like
no.
some worm snake thing with a one creepy eye. By the way, the eye blinking I think was also added in the special.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Okay, of course the walls start closing down on them. Like,
Add a bit more tension. Yeah.
And I also like the fact that at the first all the characters like just bicker against each other because they're so different people. Like they're completely, especially for example the princess and Han. They're always like, they're both fighting for the authority. I guess like she keeps telling him like that she's in charge. He doesn't want to listen to her. He's like, I don't listen to anyone but me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. Like I think it's I don't know. I feel like in the newer Star Wars movies they don't do this. They don't make. I think they're afraid of making characters unlikable, so they make them really, really friendly with each other, but for no reason. Like I think you need the characters to kind of grow
You
to
need
like
that
themselves.
conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the dynamic much more interesting, and also the change in the end when you see them like hugging and being friends, much more like
They go
fulfilling.
through a journey. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're trapped. The war starts closing in. The walls. And now your most hated characters is the only one who can save them.
They save them. Yeah. Save the
And
day.
It's so annoying because it takes so long. He's like just minding his own business. Like then suddenly like, oh yeah, I have this thing, this communicator. Hello, master. He's like, C-3PO. We're dying. Oh, help us. And then he barely manages to save them from being crushed to death.
Yeah.
And so they escape.
Yeah.
They keep going through the ship, and then they are again found by. Oh well, we see Obi-Wan with his force things. He manages to sneak by, shot off the tractor beam, and I find it stupid that nobody notices that the tractor beam is off.
Yeah.
They have no guy in like a computer like checking.
Saying, "Oh, the tractor beam's off."
I mean, one guy says like, "Oh, you know what is happening? Maybe it's like a drill or something." That's
Should we check on it? Nah.
No. And it's
So we
funny
just
because
make sure.
there's two guys like talking like, hey, you know, the new F-16 model, something, and Obi-Wan wants to go past them, and he makes like this force sound like, "Book." And the guy's like, oh, what was that? And he just sneaks by, but as he's sneaking by, they look back, and then these guys have no peripheral vision, like they can't see an old man sneaking by.
That's the other thing. I wonder, like, in those outfits, how easy it is to move around or see anything. They seem like very impractical uniforms.
They're ridiculous. Why do they need the stupid helmets? Like, inside the spaceship. Like I get it if you're in like
Yeah,
space
that's the thing,
or
isn't
something.
it? Yeah, when you're attacking. But...
Yeah, I think it's just so that the audience doesn't feel bad for them when they die. Because a lot of
like
them
that.
die. Oh, they get killed
When they get
left
blown
and
up.
right.
Yep.
Basically, Han Solo goes on a suicide mission to distract the stormtroopers, and Luke and Leia they try to get through the hangar by just going the other way.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. I don't know, just Han Solo running around with a laser, being shot by. Being chased by lots of stormtroopers. There's a scene where he's running in a hallway. He's like, close the blast doors, and then this door starts closing in, and he just jumps at the last minute, and he's like, open the blast doors, and then the thing starts opening. There's these small moments of comedy that make this adventure much more exciting. And Luke and Leia they manage to jump through a big gap.
Oh yeah.
With a hook, as you do in fantasy movies.
Yep.
Very iconic. Princess in hand, hook in the other hand, and just swing whee like a pirate. And
As you do as a pirate.
yeah, that's what you do in adventure movies. You swing from one thing to.
It wouldn't be an adventure movie otherwise.
No
No,
way.
yeah.
It's like a swashbuckling moment. And
So then Obi-Wan, I think, does he distract Darth Vader in the
Obi-Wan
Stormtroopers?
is eventually inevitably confronted by Darth Vader in a hallway, and he's like, Obi-Wan, my old master. Like, Darth Vader, you are evil, I will strike you down. And then, yeah, this is a really, I get it, like, it's not a very exciting battle in choreography terms, I guess. It's like these two awkward old men just like moving around. But it's all about the moment. It's all about the story. It's all about the dialogues. I think it's a well written scene, and yeah,
So he sees that they're about to get on the ship. So I guess he sacrifices
yeah,
himself.
exactly. There's a lot of debate in this scene
Yeah.
why Obi-Wan decides to just give up and die.
See now, because he literally just disappears into thin air. So I assumed like he used some sort of force trick to like vanish. I didn't assume that he was dead, but he is dead.
He's dead.
Oh, okay.
He's very dead. The thing is,
He's super dead.
yeah, the thing is, this is not really explained in the first movie, and I don't know to which degree George Lucas had it planned, because in the later movies it's kind of explained. But basically, when Jedi's die, they don't, not all of them, but most of them, when they reach a certain level of force connection, they don't die. Like their bodies become one with the force, so they become like these force ghosts things.
Yeah, because in the second one or the third one, he's back, no?
He's back
Spoiler,
as
spoiler
a
alert.
What?
he appears as like a ghost
Like exactly.
in
Like
one
that.
scene. You can see his face, and he's like, he doesn't want to be in this movie. He's just really.
See now, that's something I did read this morning, that like it's Alec Guinness, right, the
Yeah.
actor. It's that he was like, he hated his dialogue, and he wanted to be killed off. I think that he didn't really want to be in it anymore. I think.
He really didn't like Star Wars. He thought it was just some stupid space movie, and he just got paid, and he didn't like interacting with the fans. To him, this was like a disgrace to be able to not being like a proper movie, and he hated the fact that was his most recognizable character, and I don't know. He should have accepted it, and
You should have just lived with it.
also it's a good performance. I mean, I don't know. It's like very iconic, and he makes it believable.
Although I would agree with him that there's a lot of dialogue that I found quite
Oh,
clunky.
and in the original
There's-
script, it was much worse. Like,
Yeah.
there's even some interviews with Mark Hamill and other actors who were like, remembering some of the dialogues they had, and they were like talking to George Lucas, and being like, George, like nobody talks like this. Like you need to change it, and I'm glad they did, because they were like talking about these complex political things and like this reactor and how to technology, like technobabble basically, and so weird, very strange.
Obi-Wan dies. He sacrifices himself.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, exactly. He's fighting. But there's a debate about why he sacrifices himself, and a lot of people come out with stupid theories that I think are not don't make any sense, because when the original movie came out, there wasn't any future sequels or planned already. So to me, it seems like he basically kills himself, or lets himself be killed to basically let them escape. To be like, do not worry about me. Like I'm dead. He probably knew he was gonna be killed anyways. Like he couldn't defeat Darth Vader, so he's like, just run. Like I'm gone. Woo.
I mean, I assume because he also felt like, I guess he taught Luke enough to get ahead.
It's like my role in this battle is over, and if I keep fighting like this, people are gonna try to save me. They're gonna go to me. Luke, of course, is gonna risk his life for me, so I'm just gonna let Darth Vader kill me, because I'm not the one who can defeat him, and Luke should just escape. So, but yeah, a lot of people come up with these weird reasons, like stupid shit. Like he knew that he was his father, and then like blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But Luke gets really upset. He goes pew pew pew. He doesn't want to go to the ship. He wants to keep fighting. But then he hears this voice in his mind, which is now Obi-Wan has become like the Force, and he tells him like, run, Luke, run. And they escape in the last moment, and they are strangely able to escape. They're not. You would think they would be like immediately caught and just destroyed. And then they're like celebrating, but then the princess says like,
I'm sure they've got a tracker on here or something.
and then they're celebrating, but yeah, it's like, of course they're tracking us. They let us go, but Han is like, nah, this ship cannot be tracked.
So they make it to the rebel base, right?
Yeah, they finally deliver the plans from the Death Star.
They find the weakness.
Oh yeah, and we see also that the Empire is following them. They have found the location and they will be there anytime soon. Then we have this explanation scene where this general is talking
This
about
PowerPoint presentation.
his PowerPoint presentation with really crappy graphics. There's, we need to go to this trench, shoot this thing in this hole, and it will go beep, 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 and it would explode the whole base. Just one shot.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's impossible, nobody can do it. And then Louis like, no, I've shot like womp rats in my farm, it's the same. And yeah, now he's suddenly perfectly capable of piloting a ship.
Oh yeah, so I guess he's never really had any training. Because the way he signs, like he comes up and he signs up, and it makes it seem like he's sort of this experienced.
But I mean, if he wanted to be a space
It was
pilot,
like-
I guess he had at least.
He trained in his farm with his
Exactly,
shitty
Watch some
space.
YouTube videos.
Exactly, that's what I figured. He probably just figured out a way to practice
Yeah.
somehow.
And also he is the
young-
son of like a really great pilot.
And exactly.
Yeah, he has good aim.
You just know how to use the joysticks.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he has an affinity for spaceships and shooting things. Then he meets his friend guy who we just meet now, and he's obviously going to die. That character is more important in the original. There's footage of this character talking to Luke at the beginning of the movie, explaining some boring things, but they cut all of that out. And Han is like, "Look, kid, I gotta go. I don't wanna die. Basically, like, you guys, good luck." And he tells Luke like, "Yeah, the Force be with you," or something like that. Yeah. And Han leaves. Luke is sad because that's his friend. And then they get in the spaceship. And R2-D2 gets inserted into the spaceship as some sort of like robot computer aid thing. And now C-3PO is like, R2, please take care of my good friend. Because now they're friends. That's beautiful. Or maybe they're more than friends. Probably. This is something else that I think was added in the edit. I mean, some people say, I'm not sure. Some people debate this, but the Death Star is like needs to go around the planet to shoot the laser to the rebel planet, to the base. And this is why there's this countdown. Like as soon as the rotation allows him to shoot, they're gonna fire, and then they have this little window of time to do this operation, and which is kind of stupid because why don't they just shoot the two planets?
Because you need tension
That is
for the
true.
third arc.
That is true. They could just blow up the planet in front of it. Why
Yeah.
did they do that? I didn't think about that.
I don't know. I guess it takes a lot of resources. Like you need to
That
recharge.
defeats the point, though, having
Yeah.
a Death Star then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know. It's
Okay.
bullshit. But then they go with like 2-3 spaceships. I think there's like 10 X-wings against an entire army. Makes no sense. But the explanation is like no, because maybe they're not prepared for like a small scale attack. Huh? Eh? Like that's so stupid. I don't know. But in the context of the story, it makes sense. And then something I find interesting is that all of the pilots of the ships, they look just like normal people. Like none of them look like Hollywood actors. They're just like my dad or like some fat guy or some. They all look out of shape and like old.
Average guy,
Yeah, none of them has like they look very untrained. I guess if you're in the military, you're supposed to be in shape and everything. But no, this is just like random people from all around the world.
As opposed to, you mean, if this were made now and everyone
Yeah,
would have
they
to
would
have a
put
six-pack.
yeah, everyone would be like a super space marine guy with like. No, this is just fat guys. But
Well, if you're just having to, if all you have to do is sit in a cockpit, then, you know.
I guess. Yeah, but some of them are like fat. There's a guy whose name is Porkins, and he's fat. He's like obese. I don't think you
His
can get
nickname
into
is
the army.
Porkins.
Yeah, his name is Porkins, and I don't think you can get into the army in real life if you're fat like that.
Well, I don't know. Is it an army? Because it's just like it's a resistance, isn't it? It's not like
Exactly. It's more like civilians
exactly
gathering
like
together.
people. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a rebel
Yeah.
it's a rebel
army.
alliance. Yeah,
But yeah, that's I don't know. It's just the guy's gonna get a heart attack.
And
I would
then
trust
die.
him.
You don't have the stamina for this.
No. And, so then they go, and then this. I don't like this scene because there's so many added CG shots of the ships, and they don't match with the practical shots from the original. movie.
Okay, I don't know if I noticed that as much.
Oh, there's a
in
lot of it.
this.
If you watch the original, a lot of it has been remade. And this is a really cool scene. It's basically space battle in these trenches. They go to these trenches that are like made in the exterior of the Death Star. There's a lot of lasers shooting. Luke is slowly starting to use the Force. He hears like Obi-Wan telling him like, don't see, basically. Don't use your eyes. Use your like mind or something to aim.
Well, like I guess like a lot of other people get shot down first. Like they have one go, don't they, shooting the thing down the hole, but it doesn't quite work.
Yeah. Like after they make the first run to the thing, the like the captain, he's like, I got a visual on the target, and he shoots at the last minute, but he misses. Like the computer is not precise enough to hit the target. And a lot of people, I'm amazed that I've seen so many people commenting like that they don't understand this scene. They don't understand why Luke is able to shoot and why the computer fails. It means like baffling because it's so obvious. Because Luke is better than the computer. He's like using the Force.
Yeah.
But so many people are like, they don't get it. I guess people are really stupid. But yeah, this guy, he misses and then he dies horribly. Porkins dies. He's blown up by Luke's friend dies. Everyone dies. Then in the end.
Then Darth Vader comes out in his own ship.
Yeah, that's actually when the worst deaths happen is when Darth Vader comes in. He starts like decimate them with his cool pilot skills. He's a very talented guy, this Darth Vader.
It's not that nothing.
And I always thought he looked kind of funny that he's like hunched down in this little ship. I don't know. He's kind of comedic. But he then it's Luke's turn. He's the only one left who still has like rockets, I think, to shoot. He's doing the same run through the trench, and he also activates the computer. But then he hears a voice. He's like, "No, Luke, like let it go. Don't trust technology." And we use the Force. And he like deactivates it. Then he's like, "Look, why did you? Are you crazy? Why did you deactivate the computer?" And then as he's about to be killed, he does. He's about to make the shot, but then Darth Vader has him on his sight. He's about to kill him, and then he gets rescued by Han Solo, who decided that he was safe enough to intervene in the battle.
He decided to come back.
At the moment where he turns back, he becomes a hero, he saves Luke, and then Luke finally shoots the thing through the thing, and he just goes in. Ooh, you can see there.
And then nothing happens for a second.
And then it's like chun, 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 chun. This horrible music. Everyone's like holding their breath. There's like what? The laser from the Death Star is already like about to shoot. And then awesome epic explosion. For some reason, George Lucas added like a ring, like a. Why? I don't know why.
Like in the later edition.
In the later editions. In the end, originally it's just an explosion. And it blows. It goes boom. Everyone dies. Hundreds of people die. That they probably had families. They're just doing their job.
They're just making a living, working for the Empire. Yeah.
I wonder if Obi-Wan felt bad from all those voices being like quiet. Probably not. And they come back, the few survivors. They celebrate, they're happy, they embrace because now they're friends. And then we have a ceremony where they are rewarded as heroes.
But Princess Leia.
Princess Leia gives them 2 medals to Luke and Han, and Chewbacca gets nothing because he's not considered an equal.
I didn't even notice that. Oh no.
Yeah, he doesn't get a medal. It's
Well, I
horrible.
guess the robots don't either.
No, but droids are not people. They're just equipment. They're just some machines. But they get shiny new coats.
I guess it doesn't. Not C-3PO. R2D2. Doesn't he get like blown up at one point during the fight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's funny because he's like, I mean, it's not funny. It's horrible. But Luke is like, pew, 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 and then suddenly, like R2D2 gets blown up, and he's like, oh no, R2's hit, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. He's like C-3PO. It's like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Everyone else is just
My lover.
whatever. What the fuck? It's just some robot. And
Oh boy.
yeah, he dies like a hero. So cool. He has like a little arm. He like he starts like fix the ship.
Yeah.
And
Happily ever after.
but yeah, then they celebrate. They're happy. They're heroes, and then the movie ends. And Luke doesn't get laid in the end. But he gets a medal.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
And
Star
that
Wars.
is the end of.
A much more complicated movie than I remember. I talk so much about this movie with friends, but then there's a lot of it actually, like a lot of plot points. I think that's why I mean the movie's so great, well edited, because like every scene has important information. Every scene has like a purpose, and
Yeah.
it goes really fast. Like it feels like I don't know, well told story.
I would say, yeah, like it's a well told. I can't say that it was emotionally engaging for me though. I don't know if that was
Not even when
emotionally
R2D2 got
invested.
blown up.
A little bit, I guess, but not that much.
Not even when Obi-Wan got cut in half and turned into a ghost.
Well, again, I should maybe I'm used to like modern tropes.
Not
that
even when
everyone just
Alderaan got
comes-
blown up and millions of people, billions of people died.
But they didn't even really seem to react
What's
that
wrong
much
with
to
you,
it.
Aizen?
I think that's why I didn't react. Like Princess Leia's like, and that's about it. You know?
What do you want her to do? To like cry?
Yes,
She's a leader.
it's a planet.
She doesn't cry. She has shit to do. She probably
It's like
cried.
her planet got blown up.
Has your planet ever
everyone
blown?
she knows.
How do you know? Your planet has never been blown up in front of your eyes. You'd probably be in
You
shock.
think you wouldn't have been upset if your planet got blown
I would have been
up?
really upset, but I would have been in shock,
You would have been
such
stoic.
shock that I would have been like, I wouldn't have been able to process it first. I would have then later in my cell be like, ah. But also when you're a military leader, these things happen. The planets get blown up left and right. You need to be strong. You need to be
But
able
that's
to.
what I mean. If everyone else is acting strong, then I personally am not that emotionally affected. Like that, I was watching it. I was like, okay, this is a cool story and a cool narrative, but I can't say that I was personally very emotionally invested in it. Maybe if I watch the next film, I don't know.
We'll see about that. Okay, so you have no heart.
I have no heart.
What
no.
did you think, Altair?
I mean, I had seen it, well, sort of before. I don't know. I think it's like you say, it's a well-told film. I think it's really cool what they managed to do with the creation of the world and everything. But yeah, just like Hazel, I did not feel anything for these characters, I guess.
Oh my god!
For me, it was just like an unraveling of events
Yeah.
What?
that I was witnessing, but
Exactly.
I wasn't.
like
Yeah.
being, sort of like, oh, how's it?
I was
going?
like, oh my god, look, you have to do it now. I was like,
you
this
watched
is-
the
I mean,
same
I don't know.
movie?
Maybe it's because maybe it's because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. You need to go to therapy now.
I mean, I've already been to therapy.
Well, you need to stop going then.
Um,
Yeah, I get it. I think the movie is more like, I don't know, because I saw it as a kid, and I do remember like everything being super serious. Like when you're a kid, and like you don't think about all of these things we joke now as like stupid moments that make no sense. When you're a kid, you don't. Everything's like, oh my god, they're actually going to die. Like they're going to blow up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Now,
Maybe
as
if
an
I'd have
adult-
seen it as a kid, I might have had a different reaction to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
I have no idea what it feels like to watch a movie like this as an adult. Like I cannot experience it anymore.
I also think that in this, the fact that like so much of pop culture is embedded with or Star Wars or all the other way around. Like for example, the moment where he is gonna blow the Death Star. Like I'm sure that if I had seen it without knowing anything about Star Wars, or if I had seen it like on the first time, the tension would have been there.
That's the
I would
thing.
have been, oh my God, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna make it? But I know that he's gonna make it. So for me,
But I mean, it's
it was
obvious
like
he's gonna make it. In every fantasy movie.
no, but I think like if it is something so new that there's still the doubt that the person might not make it, you still are like a little bit like, oh, the tension is there. But since you already know how it goes,
But that's the thing. I've seen this movie so many times, and I still get.
But you saw it
tense.
the first time in other eyes. Like this is us watching it for like the first time, let's say, as adults that have been heard about.
Adults.
Yeah, exactly. That have been hearing about Star Wars for however long. So I think that is the thing. Not because I don't think that is because no, it's not well shot or the performances are not good enough for me to get it invested. It's just that there's so much information about Star Wars out there that it makes it, for the newish viewer, it makes it a little bit hard, I guess, to get into the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna forget everything that I know. I'm gonna forget that Darth Vader is his father.
And Princess Leia is his sister.
Is his sister, exactly. So I think that plays a little bit against new viewers, maybe adult new viewers.
I don't
Maybe
get it.
maybe if you show it to a kid that doesn't know anything, he will have the same reaction as someone from the beginning. But yeah, but it's a good movie.
I'm very, like I say, I'm really impressed with the world building, the special effects, the original, most of the original special effects, not the added one.
It's funny because to me it's the complete opposite. Like I do, and of course, think the effects are awesome and everything, but I think the characters are really cool. Like for me, for example, a movie like Dune. I know everyone loves these movies, but to me, these movies are like stale, like it's sterile, like they don't have emotion, they don't have like, they don't have humor, they don't have like love, nothing. It's just like these characters are like book characters, like just completely emotionless. And I think in Star Wars there's this great thing that is like George Lucas. I don't know if it's his how do you say?
Doing his input.
Need to learn English better. His input, but all the characters are really like human. They have like, they represent different types of people, and they kind of like, you get it, you understand them immediately, what they want, what type of people they are, and they're all really different, but they have great chemistry together. And yeah, I don't know, this is something that I kind of miss in more like modern movies, like just this simplicity of character dynamics.
I think it's I think it's like different kinds of storytelling. And storytelling has evolved. So I don't think you cannot. I don't think it's as easy to tell a simple story now in that old-fashioned kind of way, because I think audiences are used to these tropes and these stereotypes. So I think if you want to kind of like turn that around, you have to come up with new ways of telling the story. They are not so classic or so straightforward. So that's why I think something like Dune, it's a little bit more.
Oh, that movie was so boring.
Okay, we'll talk about Dune some other. We'll talk about Dune in another show. Well, I don't know. Do you have anything else?
11 Death Stars out of.
Okay.
I would say 7 Death Stars out of 10.
Yeah.
If I had the Force, I would use my Force to change your mind, but I can't.
You gotta practice.
Or I would choke you to death. I'm trying, I can't.
Yeah.
No, I think part of the problem for me, like with the connecting emotionally, is also, like I say, the dialogue. I didn't think the dialogue was always very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes Han Solo is like, I only trust one person, and that's me. And he's like explaining this in a really monotone voice.
Yeah, but so for that reason, I put it down a little bit, and like I say, the stormtroopers are kind of stupid.
But
I was surprised by that. I thought these guys were supposed to be like very.
That was the thing, like they're supposed to be like this big threat, like the Empire is this big threat, but then all the stormtroopers are kind of so goofy. Like, they're just...
To me, I see it like as it's like a theater performance. Like, of course, if the stormtroopers were actually super effective, the heroes wouldn't be able to escape. They wouldn't be killed.
No, but that's what the problem for me is. They feel like they're there just to kind of like, oh, this is going to be a threat, but no, we need to let the. But I think
if the plot doesn't need it to be, then they just sort of ignore it.
Exactly. So yeah, for me, that is like, okay, so you're just making them not open this door because your characters, it doesn't work for your characters. Like for me,
You're
that
really
was
upset about
like,
that
It's not like something else comes along when they're trying to open the door to distract those stormtroopers, and they're like, "Hey, we think we found them," and they run off.
Exactly.
Oh, we can't open this door, so I guess let's just give up and move on.
Yeah, it feels like very, in a way, like very student filmmaker kind of thing, you know, that you put, oh, well, this doesn't work for my character, so well, I guess the door is gonna be
too difficult to open.
Exactly. So yeah, but yeah.
So
I love stormtroopers.
that for me diffuses the tension in a lot of cases, because it feels like if the plot requires these characters to just get on with what they're doing, then the stormtroopers are not a threat. Like it kind of picks and chooses when the stormtroopers need to be a threat and when they're not a threat, you know, rather than it feeling organically like.
Yeah, I get it, but I do think that like in most of these movies, also Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, you have always these like henchmen characters, or like the orcs or the stormtroopers or whatever, that they are like a fake threat, because in the end, if they like, there needs to be a reason why the characters are able to win in the end, and like you need to make your characters stupid to kind of give them the protagonist. But
I think you can build, like I say, you can build those situations in a way that doesn't legitimize the threat of the stormtroopers. I just think it undermines the threat that they are supposed to pose in this instance.
Yeah. But I mean, are they supposed to be threatening? I don't know. I feel like they kind of just meant to be killed. They're like disposable.
Well, I don't know. Like maybe this is just what I have gained, like understood from pop culture references with Star Wars. But for me, like with the Empire and Darth Vader being in charge, you get the impression that the stormtroopers are supposed to be this really imposing army, because otherwise it's like, how can they be an empire if they don't have like good soldiers, like a good army fighting? But here they're just kind of goofy a lot of the time.
Yeah, really goofy. They're like really, they don't have any like protocol. Like you can see like they don't even like have a formation or anything. They just like
they're like really gullible.
Run around each other.
They just believe anything they're told.
That's the thing, and it's so weird for me because everyone dresses up as stormtroopers, and everyone is like this character that everyone wants to kind of be, and it's like, why?
But to me, it's also the fact that they are useless. They're probably not very well trained, but they are like millions of them. That's kind of, to me, the thing. Like one Luke Skywalker is worth.
Well,
like,
it didn't manage to stop them from escaping the Death Star, did it?
No,
so...
but they had help from the Jedi Master.
Well, anyway, maybe I don't know. Maybe if we were in future movies, I will understand why the stormtroopers are supposed to be.
I do think that you are gonna like the second movie more. Like,
okay.
I do think that for newer viewers, I think the first movie is actually the more boring, because it's for example, there's no lightsaber battles. There's one, and it's really lame for the uncultured. But for me, I understand it in a different way.
Okay.
But the second movie, they have proper like lightsaber fights, and I don't know, a lot better effects. Like actually the second movies, the second and third, they have way less fake CG added to them because the effects were much more improved. Like the budget is way higher. There's really cool shots of the spaceships, like with camera tracking and motion blur, and like it's way more impressive. And you see a lot more planets, a lot more aliens.
Okay.
So I hope you like the second one.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's something to look forward to in our next episode. So tune in.
And let the force be with you. May the force.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Why it strikes back?
I'm gonna be very quick because my battery is dying, so I'm gonna give them actually 6 because
Okay.
yeah, because I had already
Blasphemy.
seen it and I thought, oh, maybe I wasn't in the right state of mind, but I think this time I was in the right state of mind and I still didn't connect. So
Maybe you need
that's
to
it.
see.
Okay, we need to go.
Right. Okay, yeah, but join us next time for The Empire Strikes Back.
Maybe we need to see these movies with me explaining everything. And then you will like them.
Yeah,
With
that's
this
what we
overrunning
need.
commentary, yeah, that's what we need.
Okay, remember to follow us on Instagram at elevatorpitch_pod, as in podcast. And I guess yes, we'll see you. Or well, you'll hear us next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and
Until next time.
bye.
Bye.